Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you will enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Krider. Story time is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sarah Krider are taking some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
This article is called The Princess Diaries by Rob Krider. Hey, that's me. It's all Walt Disney's fault. You see, my daughter has spent her entire short life watching Disney movies jam-packed with princess folklore. All that Disney brainwashing, combined with my daughter's entire extended family calling her our little princess, has my 5-year-old girl thinking that Prince Charming will be climbing through her bedroom window any day now. I'm not looking forward to the morning when she wakes up and realizes she's just the youngest child in a middle-class family living in suburbia. There's no fairy godmother, no glass slipper, and no prince. Just the boys in her kindergarten class who eat paste. Part of the reason my daughter thinks she's a princess is because her mother, my wife whom I love, considers herself the queen. You would think that my wife being the queen would naturally make me the king. Oh no. My wife is like the Queen of England, where there doesn't seem to be a king anywhere to be found. In the hierarchy of the Krider kingdom, I'm just the guy who massages the queen's feet. If we had horses, I'm sure I would be the guy in charge of cleaning up the stalls. Also contributing to my daughter's Disney delusion is her bedroom, which is decorated like the happiest place on earth, in full princess flavor. Every single thing in her room is pink, and each piece has the likeness of a different Disney princess. Absolutely everything in her room is Disney. Down to her underwear drawer, which is filled with, you guessed it, Disney princess panties. A different princess for every day of the week. So on Monday, if the pair with Princess Ariel isn't clean, my daughter will demand to go without underwear the entire day. Princess underwear is just the beginning. For her birthday, my daughter received a treasure chest filled with about 50 different princess costumes. My daughter, who needed absolutely no further princess encouragement, was in heaven. And ever since that day, she's been wearing these long gowns with a crown on her head. We can't even take her to the grocery store without her getting decked out in some type of royal getup. It is a little embarrassing dragging around a 5-year-old Cinderella carrying a wand, curtsying to everyone we pass in the aisles. Well, I'm just trying to pick up some cheese and toilet paper. Anytime I'm about to go out and run some errands, I plead with her to change her clothes. This ends up in a full-scale meltdown. She acts as if I'm keeping her from going to the royal ball to meet the prince. I try to explain to her that we're just getting the car washed. There will be no prince there, just the 4 dudes who stand in the parking lot and dry off our car. Although I discourage her princess attire at the store, I admit I do use the princess angle to manipulate my daughter into getting things done around the house. I say things like, you need to clean your room. Cinderella's room doesn't have crayons all over the floor. At night, I might use the old, it's time for bed. Princesses need their sleep to stay beautiful. Sure, I'm further encouraging the whole princess thing, but she goes to bed without a hassle, and the room is clean, which is everything a parent wants. Our little princess has begun to take this whole fairy tale thing a bit too far, though. Besides the fact that she wants to kiss every toad she sees, she actually goes to bed at night wearing a full dress and sleeps lying on her back on top of the covers. When we asked her why she doesn't put on her pajamas and sleep under the covers, she explained to us that all princesses sleep like that. I checked her facts while watching a few Disney movies, and she was right. They do all sleep on their backs while wearing clothes. They were also all cartoons, but that factoid doesn't seem to discourage my little girl. The strange part about the whole princess situation at our house is, my daughter is so clued into the details of being a princess, like putting a pea under her mattress, but somehow she misses the obvious signs that indicate that she is by no means royalty. For instance, where is the castle? We live in a 3-bed, 2-bath pride of ownership with no RV parking. We don't have any talking mice, 7 dwarfs, or an evil stepmother. The closest thing we have is 2 goldfish, neither of which have done anything remotely cute like that little Nemo. And we have a ceramic gnome in the backyard, but I've never seen that dude say a word. All children have dreams growing up. Some kids want to grow up and become Barry Bonds, so they play baseball, or later take steroids. My daughter wants to grow up and become a real princess. There's no after-school program for that. Most kids never do become Barry Bonds, and that reality sets in around high school when they are viciously cut from the varsity baseball team. For my daughter, I assume reality would come for her in high school as well, but in the form of her Prince Charming being a zit-faced teenager who works the drive-thru at McDonald's. And maybe they'll live happy meal ever after. By the way, I thought I was going to grow up and become a race car driver. Reality came for me in the form of 2 kids.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails Podcast. Very unique episode of the show you're going to hear today, folks. Why is that, Mrs. Krider?
Well, usually when we do the show, we're at a certain blood alcohol level.
True.
It took us lots and lots and lots of recordings and lots of practicing to find when are we not too drunk.
Right, the perfect lubricated moment.
Yeah.
The best worst of us.
There's definitely some worst of the worst of us, though.
Yeah.
So why are we choosing to release a little the worst of the worst?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to mix and match. We're going to let the people decide. Part of the episode is going to be, I hate to say it, sober.
We did a sober segment.
Then we're going to stop doing that, and then we're going to just play a really fucked up segment from back in the day, no context or whatever. And then we'll let you guys decide, like, yeah, more sober or more drunk or get back to that middle road.
So there's that kind of drunk, and then, yeah, there's like the blackout drunk.
Blackout drunk. So we recently had a really great evening where we went out and we started to do what we called Wine Tasting Wednesday. And then that turned into a whole shit show thing. But at the end of the night, we got home somehow. And the next day, there was confusion. You texted me and said, hey, where was that big bag of Halloween candy? And I said, I have no idea. I don't know. I thought you threw it away.
Well, I had no memory of throwing it away. So I actually had a moment where I was proud of myself. I was like, oh, I came home blackout drunk last night. I saw that big bag of Halloween candy that's just been hanging around and basically tormenting us.
I'm like, no one needs that fucking calorie.
And yeah, I was like, oh, in a drunken moment, I did what I didn't have the strength to do sober. And I just threw it away. Just took all the calories and said, be gone from here.
Good for you,
calories.
Girl.
Yeah. So I was actually like patting myself on the back.
Blackout drunk version of Sarah is really responsible.
Yeah. And then I ignored the dishes for an entire day because blackout drunk, very, very, very hungover the next day. Ordered some pizza. I mean,
right.
It's a total waste to throw out the Halloween candy when you order
patting yourself
pizza.
on the back for throwing away Halloween candy, but then ordered a fucking Domino's
Well,
pizza.
I assumed that I had thrown the Halloween candy away because I couldn't find it. So then 2 days later, I finally got around to doing the dishes. And that's when I found this bowl that had just been sitting in the sink with water in it. And I pour the water out and there's just all this chocolate gunk like caked onto the side of this bowl. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
So you didn't just eat the candy, you decided to like make some sort of concoction.
Well, I don't know that I did. Maybe you did.
No, I did not.
Well, I know you didn't because other than that bowl, the kitchen was spotless. If you had done it, I would have found the Kit Kat wrappers. I would find Kit Kat crumbles. Yeah, there would be chocolate smeared everywhere. Like some kindergartner went in there and finger painted. And
chocolate on the white fridge, just shit everywhere.
And so there wasn't any of that. So I was like, fuck, Rob didn't do this because I didn't
do that shit.
Clean up after him. But I have absolutely no memory of it at all.
Well, in our defense, we were with some friends, Austin and Aradia, and they lost their ID and some money. And they were like, oh my gosh, we got so blackout drunk, we lost our stuff. And then later you found out that you had her ID and her money on our kitchen table. And we don't know how that happened either.
Oh yeah. And I felt really guilty about it because it sat there. So I came home and apparently emptied all my pockets onto the kitchen table, melted some Kit Kat in a bowl, and God knows who knows what with it. Have no memory of this. Then I went to bed. Then I lost like 2 whole days to a hangover. Ordered pizza with the credit card saved in my phone. Like I never even had to touch that pile of shit on the kitchen table
just
from
like
my
pocket
pockets.
stuff from a drunken bar night.
Yeah, just money and, you know, my ID is there or whatever. So then Aradia texted me and said, oh, I lost my license. And I was like, oh man, it fucking
that
sucks.
That sucks, dude.
You got to go back to DMV.
That's no fun.
It's just a nightmare. So it sat there for like 3 or 4 days. And on the 4th day, I finally was like, okay, clean up this mess. Oh shit, I have her license.
Shit, my name is Aradia now.
Yeah. So I had to text her and say, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. You didn't lose it. You didn't get pickpocketed. Or maybe you did get pickpocketed by me. I don't know, but I have your driver's license.
So what we're going to say is we didn't record that night because we couldn't. So we don't always record super hammered. So this episode really going to wrap up some of the kind of like maybe we should stay sober version and then super hammered version. And we'll let you folks decide like where we should go.
And I will say that the theme of the sober segment, it shined a bright light on the possibility that maybe you and I drink too much. We might have a substance abuse problem.
It's my job to drink. I have a show about drinking.
Knowing that that's what the sober segment was about, and then sort of hearing us now talking about once again coming home with other people's IDs, not knowing how we got home.
We probably consumed 6 pounds of chocolate.
Yeah, not knowing what happened to the Halloween candy, like all of these mysteries, not having any memory of it. Again, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it might be time for us to face the music.
I do love the part where you keep saying like, well, maybe I threw the rest of it away. I'm like, listen, we threw it away into the sewer system through our bowels. That's what happened. We had to have just consumed all of that shit, and it's gone, baby, gone.
I mean, maybe we ate the wrappers too, because I didn't see any. We got to stop.
Do we?
I don't know.
Well, let's play these two portions of the show, and we'll let the listeners let us know.
Cheers.
Enjoy, folks. Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails. Very special episode. This is actually not going to be Stories and Cocktails. It's going to be Stories and Mocktails.
What's a mocktail?
My understanding is a mocktail is a cocktail with no alcohol in it, so it's mocking you for being a loser.
Why would we do that?
Well, what we're doing is we have a special guest out here, our daughter, and we care about her, and she decided to get sober, so we decided to get sober too, and we've been doing our best to be supportive of that. How are we doing, Addy?
First of all, welcome, Addy.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. I'm drinking a virgin espresso martini.
Tell us what's in that.
I went to Dutch Bros and I got a latte.
So we wait, a virgin espresso martini?
Yeah.
It's not even an espresso, it's a latte.
A latte has espresso in it.
Oh, there we go.
As far as your sobriety, I wouldn't say it's good, but I never asked you to go sober with me. Sometimes I prefer you a little buzzed.
Right now, we're having a contest, the three of us. Like the unspoken competition here is, are we funny sober? And who is funny sober? Who is the funniest sober?
That would be me.
We all know who the funniest drunk person is.
You know what's fun is that when you're drunk, you think you're pretty fucking hilarious, but then the next day when you're sober, you're like, no, only I was laughing.
Was that like a rhetorical you, or you're speaking to me?
I'm not talking about myself.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I think in general, people can relate to that. And that's when you wake up with the anxiety because you go to bed thinking like, yeah, I'm pretty fucking awesome. I nailed all those social interactions even though I was blasted. And then you wake up and you're like, oh, that was actually really embarrassing. Do I still have friends?
I like that term, hangxiety.
Oh, yeah. I have suffered from so many anxieties. When you say, is like, do I still have friends? I actually think to myself, would it be worth it for me to just never see these people again? Do I have enough friends that I can just ghost those ones?
Just excise everyone we met with last night?
Yeah, because it's just so embarrassing, so cringy.
Well, what's great is that you guys travel so much and you get blasted at cities that you'll never go back to, and you get blasted with your new best friends that you'll never see again. And I know who those best friends are because I receive selfies with them.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, this is Greg. We told him all about you and we showed him your comedy and he thinks you're great. He also has a son that is around your age. He's pretty handsome. And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to date some random dude in Baltimore. What are you doing?
Well, won't that be nice that if someday you want to travel to Baltimore, you already, have a connection there.
Yeah.
You have a friend there.
He's a handsome boy.
And thank goodness we send you picture records of this because I don't remember any of it.
We recently went to Milwaukee, met two new best friends that we'll never forget. And then I got home the next day and I saw that I had Venmo'd somebody and it just said hot dog. And I spent $7 on a hot dog, I guess. No recollection of
We
it.
hope that $7 bought a hot dog.
That's when you walk outside a bar and there's somebody at a hot dog stand yelling, hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. And you're like, that smells good. I'm drunk. I want one of those. And the way you pay them is by Venmo.
Yeah, all the clues are there, but I just have no memory. Like, usually there'll be something that jogs your memory, like, oh, that's right. I Venmo'd a guy. I got my phone out. I said hot dog, thanks.
Usually there's ketchup on his shirt. That was the biggest mystery. Is why is his shirt so fucking clean? Who ate the hot dog?
Those hot dogs are so good. I can't believe you would forget it.
I can't believe I didn't. That's how drunk we were. I forgot that I even ordered, ate, and consumed a hot dog, and somehow didn't spill any ketchup.
So far, the special episode Stories and Mocktails, everything we're saying is making me really think we have a substance abuse problem.
It's making me thirsty.
Like, it's making me really nervous about maybe this shouldn't be a podcast. Maybe this should be an intervention. Addy, is this our intervention?
Are we doing it live on the show?
Please help us.
My favorite part of drunk texts from you guys, actually maybe my least favorite part, because it's kind of annoying, but we have a group chat. And so I start texting you guys on the group chat, not even knowing you're blasted. And then I learn pretty quickly, like, oh, nothing I say right now you are going to remember. And now I'm going to get, it's like you guys are at the bar and you like lose each other. So you start texting each other, like, hey, where you at? You just went to the bathroom. It's like, oh, I'm outside. I'm like, I'm not a part of it.
Oh, it's in the group chat. So you have to just like live a drunken asshole married couple life through your group chat in the middle of the night in LA?
I send you guys like videos of some jokes that I want to run by you. And mom says, we're in a bar, so we watched it with all our new friends, but we can't hear it. And I said, don't watch it with your friends. She said, but all of our new friends say, your daughter is so beautiful. Then I get a selfie from mom and it says, that's me peeing. And I corrected you. I said piss cam. That's what that is. When you send a picture of yourself peeing to your friends.
That's something that people do?
That's piss cam. It's
Piss
something I
cam.
do. Yeah, piss cam.
I didn't even know piss cam was a thing.
Me neither.
I think I started
That's
it.
pretty funny.
That's really
Anyway.
funny.
Oddly inappropriate and weird.
Well, it's not that inappropriate since you do it.
Oh, shit. Like daughter, like mother.
Yeah.
I guess so.
So then I get a text. Dad says, yes, don't leave. Cindy is looking for you in the bathroom.
Oh, now we remember her name.
Cindy.
And her husband was named Matt.
Okay, so that was like a month ago.
That's Milwaukee.
That's
the
Milwaukee.
night before I get home, I sent you a flyer for my next show coming up at the Hollywood Improv.
Oh, yeah.
It's not a big deal. It's just one of the biggest, most infamous comedy clubs in Hollywood.
Oh, we're going to be there?
And then I get a selfie from you guys at the bar. Mom, you said I just showed your pic to everyone at the bar. It got real weird. Dad said it was extremely creepy. And Mom, you said, I was like, do you have a daughter? You wish you loved her as much as I love this girl. No one loves their daughters as much as I love you. #facts. And I was like, this is so funny. They are so fun, whatever. And then the next day I'm like, fuck, I'm going to go home to some fucking hungover slobs. They're not going to be any fun. They're going to be so hungover. That's what I'm coming home to. And then you text me at 11:18 a.m. and you said tonight there will be me and Ned's. And that confirmed it. You only eat me and Ned's when you are hungover.
That is a local pizza joint here in Fresno, California. Me and Ed's Pizza.
This is really depressing. When I said, I don't know if we can be funny sober, it turns out sober, like we're super depressing. And this is the cycle of substance abuse, is that when you sober up, you're just like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? I just get so drunk all the time. I don't remember people's names. I text my daughter weird texts, like I'm a horrible person. And then what's going to make me feel better? Just that blackout, sweet nothingness. I don't have to remember anything, no anxiety. That is part of this cycle. They put that on the AA webpage. And this is what you're describing.
You are
Your father and I.
in way too deep. You decided to create a podcast called Stories and Cocktails. So if you go sober, you are abandoning that podcast because you don't drink cocktails anymore.
It would be letting down tens of listeners. Tens of listeners would be let down if we quit this podcast.
I'm one of those listeners.
You know, the funny thing about the AA webpage, and I'm saying for a friend looked into it, it talks about if your drinking is starting to affect other areas of your life. And one of the things they mention is like your job. Like, are you late to work? Are you missing days of work? We're the opposite. The only job we have is this podcast. And if we don't drink, it affects the outcome.
What do you think about that, AA?
Yeah.
What's your answer for that, motherfuckers?
Fuck you, AA.
Fuck you, AA. We don't fucking need you. I don't go to AA. I don't need that shit. I don't want to hear everybody's sob stories.
So you went sober without AA.
I went sober without AA.
How'd you do it?
I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you're becoming your mother.
Oh,
Ouch.
fuck.
I'm kidding.
That's some cold-hearted shit.
No, it's not. I'm kidding. I looked at my dog and I said, you deserve a better mother because I'm a mother to this little dog.
Wait, that still feels directed towards me because I'm your
No.
mother.
So she's saying, why didn't you wake up one day and say, I need to be a better mother to this daughter when she's doing it for a small animal?
Yeah.
I didn't need to sit in some musty church basement talking about sob stories. All I had to do was just stop drinking. And I was like, this feels good. I like this. I'm pretty great about like not feeling tempted to go back to any of my vices. Like I'm still very good friends with my drug dealer.
I'm glad that you were the type of substance abuser who made good friendships with your dealers along the way.
It's all about relationships, people.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you.
Dealers are the nicest people sometimes.
Yeah, customer service.
They are really kind, and I swear I'll see one at the bar. I'll see my old dealer at the bar. And he's like, hey, Addy, it's so good to see you. What do you need today? You need a gram or whatever? And I say, I actually quit. And they're like, dude, good for you.
Oh, they don't even mind that they lost your business?
No, they're like, I'm really happy for you.
Now, how do you see a dealer at the bar if you're sober? Why are you at the bar?
I'm at the bar with my friends. It's like somebody's birthday. I want to celebrate their birthday with them so I could go hang out. They still let me in bars.
They do?
There's no bouncer at the bar that says, dude, are you not drinking right now? You can't come in here.
What do you say? Because I know Dad dragged me to a bar and I was sober. It wasn't because I was like, oh, I'm going to be sober. It was just because I was so hungover that I just couldn't drink.
Dude, you're doing hangovers wrong. If you're hungover, you have to drink, and that'll make
What's
you
up,
feel
quitter?
better.
When you're our age, babe, you can't just double down on it like that. There's no hair of the dog. There's just more misery if you keep drinking. We were at a baseball game and Dad dragged me to the bar and the bartender's like, what are you having, Dad? Oh, ranch water, club soda, tequila, some lime juice. Dad has to tell every bartender how to make his drink. He orders it by name and then he puts the ingredient list out for them.
Most bartenders know what a fucking ranch water is.
It's so embarrassing.
The data I've picked up recently says that's not the truth.
The data?
Yeah.
So Dad does his order and then the bartender's like, well, what are you having? And I'm like, oh shit, I wasn't prepared for this. I am thirsty, but I cannot consume any more alcohol. So I was like, I'll have a rum and Diet Coke, hold the rum. He's like, you want a Diet Coke then? I'm like, is that allowed? Oh shoot, I'm sorry. I'm the asshole here. And he's like, no, you can have this Diet Coke.
Did he charge you for it?
Well, yeah, it was the baseball park. He charged me like
Okay, that's fair.
like $52.53 or something.
Because
like
a lot of bars I go to, I'll either order a Diet Coke or I will get a soda water with bitters and a lime. That's really yummy, and it is kind of like a placebo effect. Like it kind of feels like you're drinking a cocktail, but it's just soda water with bitters, and I never get charged.
Oh, that's nice.
So bars do that because of a anti-DUI program. So if you're the designated driver, they give you free soda.
It's true, because they see me with my friends that are just racking up their bill with tequila shots. It looks like I'm having fun, but it also looks like I'm kind of annoyed with my fucking drunken friends, and they're like, yeah, dude, I'm not going to charge you for this. You're driving. You're a good person today. Here's your Diet
Have you repeatedly done this with like the same friends?
Yeah. And then one time this guy, he knew I was the driver. He puts out my Diet Coke. Then he gives me an orange slice, a cherry, a lime, a lemon. He's like, I'm going to really like fruit this up for you.
He gave you like a fruit salad with Diet Coke.
He did. It was very kind.
I think he's flirting with you.
Probably.
Now, the reason I ask if you've repeatedly done this with the same group of friends is that your friends obviously don't suffer from the anxiety like I do. Like if I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, I was with my sober friend Addy. She drove me all around last night. I don't remember the last 3 places we went. I don't remember what was said. I'm never going to see her again. I'm so embarrassed.
No, I've had friends. I take them home. They're really fucked up. And I'm trying to take care of them, and they're being mean to me. They're like, fuck off. I'm like, I'm just trying to help you. And then the next day, I'm like, hey, you're kind of a bitch. I said, I'm sorry I didn't want to let you sleep on the bathroom floor. I was trying to get you into my bed. And she's like, I just really didn't want you to see me like that. And I'm like, okay, that's fair.
You've got it coming to you, though. That's karma. Because you're not...
For being sober?
And you're not an easy drunk to take care of.
No, that's one of the reasons I went
wish
sober.
that you wanted to sleep on the bathroom floor. You're the kind of drunk you want to sleep in your bed under your covers with your hair like in your mouth, and then you just want to puke. Like, and I let's take you to the bathroom, and you're, no, I don't feel good. I don't want to be in the bathroom.
Okay, so you are somebody, I will never forget this. My friends were talking about drunk Addy, because it's like, let's all bond over this experience that we've had taking care of drunk Addy. And out of nowhere, you say, you are a shit show.
You are.
You're a shit show. And I'm like, what? What the fuck? You're a shit show. And I keep that with me. And so when people ask me, like, hey, Addy, why did you go sober? And I'm honest with them. I said, dude, I was a shit show. I was a fucking shit show. Train wreck, train explosion, shit storm, fucking piece of shit.
You were.
Yeah.
But now I need that same kind of intervention back at me.
I told you, you don't have to be sober around me. Like, I'm not triggered. I'm around it. I'm a fucking bartender. I'm around drunk people all the time. You know what's funny? You'd be surprised how many bartenders are sober.
That makes sense.
I don't know, though. That's kind of scary because she's been talking more and more about that. Sober bartenders. It's like if your roofer comes over and he's like, yeah, no, I don't even have a roof. I don't really trust these things at all. they're not necessary.
So accurate. That is so true.
You're awfully quiet over there.
Well, you guys are doing such a good job.
You're lacking the cockiness that
Well, it
comes in the
turns out
cocktail.
I'm not very good at stories and mocktails.
And neither am I. It's rough, dude. Do you feel bad about yourself? I feel bad about myself.
I think occasionally we're pretty rough on some folks, and I think we've crashed through some doors, some bars recently. You know, you and I don't even remember some of the places we were. The last place we were at, I actually got us a grandbaby. Very excited.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Mom and I are going to be babysitting a stranger's child. Since you and your brother won't give us any grandchildren, I went and found one at a bar. Does that sound weird?
It was. He negotiated a deal that we now have possible. We're going to do a little meetup.
A little meet and greet, see how it goes with the little one.
Yeah.
And then, boom, he's ours.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking weird.
We don't know his name yet.
We're 65% sure it's a him.
Okay, you're right. Dad and I, we make new best friends wherever we go when we get a certain blood alcohol level, right? Now, if we're sober, we just get in and out of a place. We're just like, just give it to us to go. We're not going to sit around, talk, make friends and shit. Fuck you. But when we get a certain blood alcohol level, everyone in the bar is our new best friend. The bar is our new hangout. Like, we're going to move to Baltimore just so we can go to this bar. Like, that's how serious we get. Milwaukee, we're going to live there. So we meet people and we exchange numbers. I've learned I save people's numbers in my phone, like Cindy from Milwaukee.
It's a fucking waste of space in your phone.
No, because this morning a random person texted your mom and said like, hey, you down for that play date with the baby? And your mom's like, who the fuck is this?
I had no memory of it, but I had her saved in my phone as possible grandson hookup. So then the pieces started to click back into place.
Like, you're going to hook me up with having a grandson.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get the grandson.
Who doesn't want their grandson and wants to just pawn him off to?
Well, no, like I'm sure his grandparents want him. It's just they're out of state.
Yeah, they're in Oregon.
This is growth because because I used to go to bars and I used to try to get son-in-laws.
I know. You really, really
Now I'm
want
just
to
skipping all
marry
of that.
me.
Yeah, we're just jumping right to the point.
Now I'm just like, instead of trying to look around the bar and go like, who would want to date my daughter? I just look around and say, who already has a baby? And, that baby needs some grandparents in its life. I just skipped right to it.
You know what you could do? You can make a profile on one of those apps, websites like nanny.com or something, like, and advertise yourself like, hey, I can babysit your kids. I raised 2 and I'm lonely and I want some baby time. Like, let me.
There's apps for that?
Just like, Rover is like a dog sitting app.
Yeah, this one's called like Granny or something.
No, like nanny, but you're going to be the granny. Yeah, that's true. You're not a nanny, you're a granny.
Yeah. Well, wait, is there an app that's called Granny and Papa?
Maybe you should make that because nanny.com is like a bunch of really
Nana
young.
and Pop Pop.
Yeah.
No, Nana and Pop Pop is good because I think nanny.com is more like young, hot chicks and like the dad scrolling through like which nanny is going to be like my new mistress. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of
'Cause
that.
everybody fucks the nanny sometimes,
Yeah, I mean, I had that app on my phone. I had to block it so your mom wouldn't find it. So I
Yeah.
was very confused. You're like, you guys on nanny.com? I'm like, I'm on it, but mom's not.
They're very cute young girls that they want to take care of your baby and stuff. But yeah, Nana and Pop Pop is much more
You
wholesome.
don't even have a baby. How are you hiring a nanny when you don't have a baby?
The whole thing's a ruse. All it is just have sex with people who are younger than you and they want to just get money from you. So it's an understandable contractual relationship between an older man and a younger woman.
Could you imagine the confusion then if I put myself on nanny.com? Because,
Yeah, you got to make granny.com.
Yeah.
Nana and poppop.com. And we don't even want money. Like, we don't want to do it for money. We just want the baby.
And you're like bonus points if
Give
you
me
guys
the
have a
children.
dog, so I can hang out with your baby and your little dog.
Oh, yeah.
We've learned to do dogs and babies separate, though, after that one kid in the eye.
What the fuck?
You'll never see again.
I don't know. Dad's like going so far off the reservation. He's like, I don't know how to be funny, sober, which we suspected. So now he's just like, I fucked the nanny. The dog attacked the baby. I was just like, these are not good jokes.
God, this show sucks.
Poor Dad. He's just grasping at straws.
You had a big day this morning.
I went on a big adventure today.
Let's hear about that.
My big adventure is at 48 years old, after being in a bathing suit forever, swimmer and all that stuff. I should have done this years ago, probably. But yeah, this morning I went for my first laser hair removal bikini area treatment.
So why did you do that?
Because the RV trip that we just went on, I spent 3 months basically in my bathing suit, and I just felt like I was constantly in a state of stubble or razor burn. I was like waking up on Tuesday and I was like, okay, another day in my bathing suit, like yesterday's stubble or today's razor burn. And so I finally just said like, fuck it. I'm this many years old. I'll finally go. And I keep saying this many years old is because I'm getting to an age where she's like, if you get any older, we're not going to do it. Because either like through menopause, you either go gray and you can't laser gray hair,
Gray pubes.
or you're going to lose it. So she's like, really, now's your
We'll
window.
take your money right now because you might not need this shit.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, so like in a year or two, I won't need it. She's like, well, yeah, but let's go ahead and sign you up.
Yes.
You need it right
6
now.
appointments at so much $100.
So really, I should have done it 15 years ago, but I couldn't afford it 15 years ago.
True. I thought you did it because one day you realized like you had a bit of a man ass. And so I'm super appreciative that you're getting this done because your man ass was getting really out of control.
So the first thing that you have to do before you get laser hair removal is you have to shave. That's the funny part, is you're like, why am I shaving? You're going to remove it all for me. Isn't that why I'm fucking here? But in order for the laser to work, got to be shaved. So this morning I shaved and it was terrifying. Like it was so much hair. I had no idea how hairy my butt was. I was either going to go to the salon and get it braided or I was going to go get it lasered off. It was awful. So then I said to you, why didn't you tell me how hairy my butt was?
So I have the answer for that. So here's the thing about being married to a woman. So you have to always make sure she's happy and comfortable in her body and feels good about herself. And you want her to be so happy and comfortable that she's willing to share herself in the most intimate way with you. So you need her to feel good about it. If you wake up one day, you're like, man, honey, the other day I had you in doggy style and your butt hair is out of control. Well, what would happen then is those legs would close for business forever. That would be the last time I ever got to do that. So you just don't say shit. And you just hope one day your wife finds out on her own, like, oh man, I got a bit of a man ass. I'll go take care of this. So it sort of worked out for me, 15 years later.
Well, I had no idea until this morning. And it was only because I wanted to get the bikini line done, but then they upsold me. When you go in to get the laser hair removal and you're like, look, I just want to get my bikini line done, they upsell you.
Do you have a husband? He's been lying to you.
Yeah, she's like, it's hardly costs anything more to do it all or do as much as you want, do more. Well, and then she's like, Brazilian. And I'm like, no, we're not going to Brazil. Cancun. I need to get ready for Cancun.
Jamaica.
She's like, no, dumbass. Brazil means your butt crack too. And I was like, at that point, I was still like, why would I do that? I don't have a hairy butt crack.
Here's what I think.
I do. I don't now.
Unless you have a bidet, everyone should have a hairless asshole because
Agreed.
a hairless asshole means a much cleaner asshole because hair traps dookie
Fecal matter.
and fecal matter and bacteria
Sweat.
and sweat and just it's kind of gross. It could get tangled. So to have a more
Dingleberries.
to have a more clean butthole, you should shave it or just have a bidet. I don't have a bidet, but I have a hairless butthole.
You have a hairless butthole? Is that what you
I have
said?
a hairless butthole.
Wow. I will.
Is that part of your Tinder profile? Addy, comedian and hairless butthole.
No. Now I'm just dating for the lure. I'm going to go on a date with a guy who's 6'7" because these things are they're interesting. They're for the lure, you know?
What's the lure?
Like the lure. Like this is a saying, a Gen Z saying, you do it for the lure. You do it for the content, for the history, the stories.
Are you saying lure, like I'm going to lure him in, or are you saying the lore?
The lore.
Like story time.
Yeah.
The lore.
For the lore. Yeah. For your backstory, for your origin story.
Does anybody do anything for like Medicare or like retirement in Gen Z? Because that
Social
seems
Security,
important.
yeah.
Exactly. Housing.
Retirement, 401k, housing market. Yeah, for sure.
No.
No.
That seems like a bad idea, y'all.
She did, though, speaking of generations, when I came back and I'm like walking funny and kind of, because it was literally a laser.
In your butthole.
All my genitalia got burnt with a laser this morning. So I'm walking funny. And then she said, did you remove it all? I said, no, I don't want to look like a 10-year-old girl. And then she said, oh yeah, that's way too Gen Z for you. I knew you wouldn't. So then I went into the bathroom to put aloe vera on all my laser burnt parts. Like I felt bad about myself. I looked in the mirror like I'm not Gen Z because I still have pubic hair like a grown woman should.
I'm actually shocked that they allowed you to take some off and not all because having any hair on you is like it's not a thing anymore. Everybody's completely bald.
No, I'm not.
I know.
Mom's keeping it old school.
Yeah.
Because I was brought up on 70s porn, Addy, so she's trying to keep it old school for me.
Yes, huh? And
Thank
guess
you.
what? Hair
Appreciate
traps
that.
bacteria.
You know what else hair
And
traps?
it's
We
sweaty.
just learned this on that Naked show, Naked Attraction. So I actually learned things from that show. Hair traps your pheromones.
Mm-hmm.
And so without the hair,
Oh, and you're lacking those, right?
no, I'm
Because
not
of menopause.
hormones. I still have pheromones.
Pheromones are like the magic fairy dust that brings boys your way.
Yeah, that's a magnetic attraction between two people, your pheromones. And so the hair traps in your pheromones. So now I'm going to have less pheromones leaking out.
Towards dad. That's why you Gen Z kids can't get anybody around and make this date work because you guys have no pheromones. You have to use Tinder.
You also can't smell pheromones through a phone. So
True.
yeah, you guys are, see, Gen Z trying to make me feel bad about myself.
Victorian women would take a little
Gen
bit of
X,
vagina
motherfucker.
and put it on their necks where they would go dancing, ballroom dancing, so the boys could smell their pheromones.
Gen Z invented a pheromone-infused perfume.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Suck my dick, Gen
You know
X.
where they got it? They got it from some Gen Xers badge. How can they invent it when it's magic?
You can't invent something that exists naturally.
You trap it naturally and you put it in a perfume to enhance it.
How they trap it naturally? It's magic. When people have pheromones that complement each other, it's magic.
I think they go to Orange Theory when the girls really start sweating it up. They just kind of like clasp the air behind their sweaty butts.
Boys have pheromones too.
Yeah, they do.
And you're not going to be allowed to go to Orange Theory if these are the ideas that you have.
I'm just saying. You're asking how they catch it. I don't know. I have an idea.
No more Orange Theory for you. So yeah, if you want to know anything else about laser hair removal, I now know about it.
You're an expert because you had one session.
Yeah.
That's how mom rolls.
It just kind of just goes, it's just like, zzz, zzz, zzz. It's just, it doesn't make that sound.
Is it like a fly getting smacked on the bug killer?
Yeah, I mean, it does make a sound, but it's a very, very, very faint sound. Really, the biggest sound in the room was just me and my nervous chatter. I did tell her right from the start. I said, I'm an anxious oversharer. So you just get busy with the laser. And the more embarrassed and anxious I feel with you like up in my butt crack and stuff, the more I'm going to overshare.
We should have mic'd you up for that, and we could have had that on the episode.
She's like laughed and she just said, she goes, well, that's a new one. And I was like, well, yeah. Like,
I like it when people say to you, that's a new one. She's like, I just zap ass hair all day long on different women. And, you know, I've been doing that for 15 years. And now you've come in with a novel thing.
no one else is an anxious oversharer. I'm like, they are. They just don't name it like I name it. So she let me overshare.
Nice. How much sweating did you do?
A lot less than I thought I was going to. That was one of the things I overshared. I did get up and the paper didn't even stick to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought I was going to sweat a lot more.
It's a very cold office.
It is. Yeah. But then see, this is where I get weird because I'm like, so is this like a normal amount of sweat or like, did I win on like the least amount of sweat?
Am I a normal girl?
And then she was like, well, you didn't use the squeeze balls. You know, she goes, you're pretty tough. And I was like,
And you're keeping this big
"Thank
bush.
you. I'm very tough. But I like the way she talked because, so first off, I love, and this is the same, this is every fucking doctor. This is like a mammogram, pap smear, whatever. They're like, okay, get completely naked and then put this towel over you. And I'm just like, dude, why are we fucking around with the towel? A mammogram, you haven't had a mammogram yet, but a mammogram, they have you put a robe on and you spend it the entire time moving the robe so that you're only exposing one boob at a time. It takes forever. It's super cold in that room. Talk about cold. It's the most uncomfortable thing. I'm just like, if taking this robe off takes 15 seconds off this fucking process, I'm taking the robe off. So even that, when I go to the mammogram and I just take the robe off, they're always like, oh, that's something like no one does. Like,
Wait, what age do you hit?
40.
Okay, good.
Don't you laugh when you go to the gynecologist and they give you a paper towel and then they just stick their head right in between your legs and you're just like, dude, modesty is a fucking joke. So
I
today
like
was
the
no
towel.
different.
I like
you do?
the towel. Mm-hmm.
So today she's like, okay, go ahead and get undressed and then here's the towel. And she's like, I'll come back in a few minutes. And I'm like, you're literally going to burn the hair out of my vagina, but you're going to leave while I take my shorts off? Like that doesn't make any sense.
No, I think there's some unsettledness when you get undressed. You feel vulnerable.
I was like, dude, I'm an anxious mess. Like, let's just get this show on the road. So then she came in and I said, so to explain the process to me, like, what order do you go in? You know? And she goes, well, and this is where I say it's funny the way that she talked because she's like, well, I'll start at the top. She goes, that's like the least painful. And then she's like, and then we'll move down to like the middle. The middle section is where it gets pretty intense, especially the center middle. And then I'll go up the back. And I'm just like, okay, I see what we're doing geographically. This is a pretty funny way of explaining it. So then sure enough, when she got to like the center middle, she's like, do you want me to go ahead and take care of like the center here? And I was like, hey, you're already down there, dude. The worst part's already done. But I was like, oh, fuck, this hurts. You weren't kidding around.
And she was getting under the hood.
Yeah, that's like the center middle.
I like it how you two women can't discuss the actual vocabularies of your own vaginas.
Yeah, that's why I said it was funny.
The center middle, don't talk about it. You're up in there. Don't even mention it. So we did a story today about Addy. The story was called The Princess Diaries, published August 26, 2004 in the Santa Maria Sun, about our little angel princess, Disney princess.
Poor Addy.
I was 5 years old.
She got so bored with that conversation, and I think it's not because she is bored with hair removal. She's just sad because she can't afford it. When you get your Netflix special, will you go get the laser?
There's a little handheld laser that you could buy and do it yourself now, but I think that's terrifying.
She said
you
don't.
shouldn't do it yourself.
She told me don't. I specifically asked about that. I said, they've got these things on Amazon. Should I just do it? And she's like, don't do that.
Anyway, the story, I was 5
Princess.
years old. There's a lot of stories about me. There's a lot of stories that my dad wrote that are very exaggerated. And this one is like probably the most least exaggerated story I've ever read about myself, about my family. I'm like, yep, that happened.
That is exactly how it was.
That really happened. And times have changed, but at the same time, times haven't changed. Like, I do get very dolled up to look like a beautiful princess, to go to work looking like a beautiful princess because, you know, the better I look, the more tips I make. But I don't have to get dolled up to go to the grocery store anymore. And actually, when I step out my apartment and I turn left, suddenly I am in a very rich suburban neighborhood. And I'm walking my dog, my scrappy little Fresno mutt dog, in my yellow Crocs and my suicidal tendencies t-shirt. And we get a lot of dirty looks. People don't like us.
They just look at you like, get out of my neighborhood.
Yeah, they're like, you don't belong.
That dog is going to shit on my lawn.
They don't know that you've been a princess since you were 5 years old.
Yeah.
But you were always the yin and the yang of a princess because you were always like, okay, I want to have this dress on and I want to have this tiara on. And I was like, well, can we brush your hair? And you're like, no, fuck you. Like, stay away from my hair, mom. So your hair is like matted and nasty and food on your face. But I'm like, well, but princesses would have a clean face. And you're just like, not this fucking princess, mom. Get out of my way.
Because punk rock isn't just a look, it's a lifestyle. Okay?
Yeah, I know. That's what you were. You've always been a punk rock princess.
If Ariel started a punk rock band.
You were so obsessed with like pink and like this like pretty princess concept and like a high pitched voice and all this stuff.
Well, I still have that voice.
But then the funny thing is then Shrek came out and you like
Princess Fiona.
Princess Fiona became your number fucking one. So I knew how you were obsessed with princesses and like the prettiness and the glamour of princesses. So I was like, I don't think she realizes that the ogre and the Cameron Diaz princess are the same ones. Like I think she thinks Fiona's like the pretty one at the end. So I was like, which Fiona are you? And you were just looking at me like, the Fiona, duh. But then the part you would reenact all the time. So you would always say, I'm Princess Fiona. Watch me be Princess Fiona. And then you would sing and then you would like eat a bird.
Okay, yes, that's what I was going to say.
And you were like, this is how I identify. Like, this is who I am.
Exactly.
I'm Princess Fiona.
This is why I like Princess Fiona so much. First of all, I grew up before Frozen and Moana and Tangled came out. Like, princesses now, they do have some badassery to them. They do have more than just like, I'm a pretty princess. Like, they can kind of fend for themselves.
The new Disney movies, they passed that. What's that test? The Bechdel test?
Yeah.
What is that called?
Something like that.
The Bechdel.
Yeah. But like Elsa's a badass and she is single and I'm like, yeah, Elsa's fucking cool. But growing up, I didn't have Elsa. But Princess Fiona, she's not a Disney princess. You know, Shrek is a fucking great fucking movie. But what I liked so much about her is that she was a badass. And she, when she was still a princess and not even an ogre, she fucking kicked the shit out of some dudes and then like ate a bird. Yeah. She was just a pretty princess. Some dudes are like attack her. She beats the shit out of them. And it's like just this badass who's also pretty. And then, yeah, she like marries an ogre. But then also the fact that she becomes an ogre is like, that's punk rock.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking punk rock. Much more than this just delicate little princesses that Disney made. She's like, oh my God, I lost my shoe. I'm such a ditzy girl. Do we have anything to use? Is this a fun episode?
I don't know. Should we cheers our mocktails?
Yeah. Thank you for being our guest, our sober guest on the first ever and hopefully last episode of Stories and Mocktails. And cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay, folks, that's the end of the boring stories and mocktails portion of the show. Now we're going to get back to the real deal Holyfield stories and cocktails, the drunken portion of the show, coming up next. Hey friends, I wanted to take the time to thank each and every one of you for listening to our stupid little drunk show, especially those who were kind enough to go on Venmo and throw a couple bucks our way to buy us a round of drinks at Stories and Cocktails. And if you want to help out the show, subscribe, like, and comment on whatever streaming platform you use, or all of them. Jesus, I sound like a 12-year-old YouTuber. And if you do buy us a round of cocktails, I promise we will put those drinks to good use and give you a shout out on a future episode. All right, thanks folks. Let's get back to the shit show. Ready to rock and roll?
Welcome to Stories and Cocktails. Oh, he's telling me no. This fucking podcast sucks.
We're not doing it.
No. This is good.
No, we're not doing
No,
it.
fuck you. Yeah, we're not going to restart it just because you didn't get to start it. Talk about your pajamas.
I don't want to talk about pajamas.
People want to talk about pajamas. Everyone gets fucking pajamas from their mom. That's privilege right there. And you're just shunning it.
We're starting this episode.
We're starting this episode over because he fucking hates privilege. Everyone has a mother. I got it. And everyone's mother wishes they could buy matching pajamas for all their kids. Yeah. What are we drinking tonight? I'm running this fucking podcast. You're going to start it over. You fucking asshole.
Hey. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Stories and Cocktails. It's beautiful, beautiful evening in Napa Valley, California. We're here hanging out.
Let me tell you what I'm drinking. Listen. Montucky Cold Snap.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I've been drinking for 10 hours. I got up this morning with my brother, went to a local hotspot in Napa, California, and they had $8 orange juice. So I'm like, wow, squeezing an orange into a cup, that's $8. But I was like, but wait, yo. They sell a fucking mimosa here for $13 for just a $5 upcharge. You can get the $8 squeeze orange juice into champagne. And so that's how I started my day 10 hours ago. So I'm fucking wasted. Champagne. Then I went wine tasting with you. I drank a bottle of fucking Australian champagne. No, red fucking Cabernet Sauvignon. I don't even fucking know. Then I drank tequila. I drank all the alcohol.
This is the sound of me. Montucky Cold Snack. Okay.
Nice. You know what the side of the can says? It says, don't be a jerk. Right on the side of the Montucky Cold. You know what the side of my can says is 10% ABV.
Oh, my God.
Which means I get to be a jerk. Once you're over 8%, go ahead and be a fucking jerk. I'm going to be a fucking jerk, yeah. Not only am I a jerk, I'm a jerk from Boston.
The side of your can says like, oh, were you home for the weekend? Did you have to fucking deal with some shit? Because your parents are divorced.
So I don't really do like
feelings?
It's called emotions or feelings, yeah. So here we are. I'm 10 hours into fucking drinking mimosas and tequila and Sauvignon Blanc from fucking
Sauvignon?
Australia. I don't know. They were trying to tell me about it. He's like, would you like a ganache? I'm like, what's a ganache?
A ganache is a dessert. Fucking hungry motherfucker. They offered you a grenache.
So I didn't learn anything today is what you're saying. What I'm trying to say on the goddamn podcast is I drank all the fucking fruits in the goddamn world that have been fermented. I'm fucking wasted.
This is what I learned from human beings is when they start telling you when they started drinking. When a human being sidles up to you and they're like, I started drinking at, and then they give you like a time frame, they're going to be an asshole to you.
Yeah.
Even if they're like, I started drinking like 15 minutes ago. What they're gearing up
I've
to
been drinking
do
since I was 10 years old.
is they're going to be an asshole to you. And they want like the time that they started drinking to excuse them from assholeness.
Yes. Because I've been drinking for 10 hours means I get to be a dick on this podcast.
Yeah, I know. And then you're like this. Hey, y'all, can you believe that in Napa Valley, orange juice costs $8 fucking? No, I can't fucking believe that. I think it costs $9 in Napa Valley because everything in Napa Valley costs extra. So you're just like, oh my God, I've been drinking since yesterday and I'm in Napa Valley and orange juice costs $8. And everyone smells their own farts here and says it fucking smells wonderful. Oh my God, I thought you were being the asshole. It turns out I'm being the asshole.
I had a very complex day with emotions. I don't fucking do emotions. So I went ahead and said, like, yeah, is there tequila in that? Great. Give me 2 of those. Pour me that.
No, you don't do emotions. Like
That's
really
for
don't.
People who are weak do emotions.
I think that's for like people who are not. I don't call you a narcissist. I say other people might say you're a narcissist. But
My daughter says I'm a sociopath.
I was going there. And our daughter, she took one psychology class in junior college and she came home and she was like, and it was like the first time she'd ever paid attention in school. And she's like, holy shit, Mom, did you know Dad's a sociopath? And I was like, he's what other people might call a narcissist. I wouldn't. but other people might call him a narcissist. And she's like, yeah, no, narcissism is part of a sociopathism. And I was like, God damn, you're doing good in school. I'm so proud of you, baby girl. And then
Well done. You're paying attention.
that was the end of the conversation. Don't you have like a fucking therapist?
Yeah. So my therapist, she's like, I get you, Robbie.
Whatever.
Stop apologizing to your wife. You already apologized enough. You're done apologizing. You're allowed to be salty. A lot of things she says, I'm like, I don't know if this is good advice or not. What kind of training did you get to be in here?
Let's wrap this one up.
Okay.
I love you.
Such a good show that we just did for the people.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the host their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only $4 Spanish. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.
If you enjoy hearing Rob Krider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.